Live from Petit Campus at the 2024 Montreal Fringe Festival, it's And a Scotch Eggs Comedy Game Showdown! Please welcome your host, Dan Donnelly!
Hello, and welcome everyone. Bonsoir, Montréal. We're very happy to be here. Are you guys having a good time? Yeah. Have you had a good fringe so far? Excellent. We're very happy to be here in Montreal, and we appreciate you making it out tonight. You are a small but mighty audience, which is the best kind of audience, in my opinion. Thank you. As you may be able to tell, we've had a little bit of trouble figuring out how to advertise the show because the Fringe has gone green, and therefore we're not allowed to put up paper posters anywhere in the city. But I thought, if we really put our mind to it, we can probably find a way around this, right? So I thought, what if we just rename the show and let the city do the postering for us? It was either this or hors service, but I think this one was probably more popular. And believe it or not, it worked really well. People were getting interested in the show, and then all of a sudden at our tech rehearsal, a couple of guys named Marco and Jean-Francois came in and said, we owe them half of our ticket sales for some reason, and Jean-Francois' cousin Vincent is now going to be our driver, even though he doesn't have a driver's license. And I'm pretty sure it's not possible to park in the city anyway. Guys, I think we're in the mob now, which is fine because sometimes you need a place to bury a body, right? Yeah. All right. But we are happy to be here. I'm happy to be back in Montreal. I actually lived here for 8 years before I moved to Canada. I did a PhD just down the street at McGill, and I have to say, as a struggling graduate student, my accommodations at that time were not nearly as fancy as what students are living in these days. But I had a good time, and I will have you know that I was not one of those McGill students who stuck to the McGill bubble. I also spent lots of time in the Concordia bubble. Do you guys like the Fantasia Festival? That's what it's called? No? Okay, this may not be the show for you. But in actual fact, I lived right here on the plateau for many years, back a long time ago when it was still a real working class Montreal neighborhood and not the filthy immigrant ghetto it is today. So this is actually my first Fringe and the first Fringe for this show, and we learned a couple of things when we got here. One of them is that it is common etiquette to allow other Fringe creators to plug their shows during your show. And what do we say about unwritten rules? They're made to confuse autistic people. That's right. So we've worked it in the show. Anybody here have a show? Yeah, tell us.
Love Sharks and Frenching, a hot date with Lou Lauren.
Lou's show is great, so I highly recommend it. You have one left, right? Okay, that's tomorrow? Okay, great. Go to Lou's show. Anybody else? All right, great. So we're going to actually get your show started. Are you excited? Yeah. But first, we have a brief word from our sponsor, Toronto. Are you tired of living in a place where the people around you seem to visibly enjoy their existence? Do you hate the convenience of buying beer and wine at the corner dépanneur? And the hassle of following a winning hockey team? Then Toronto might be for you. Sure, rent might be expensive, but with that incredibly high rent, you get all these amazing benefits like... Hold on, I'll think of one. You can write pasta on an Italian restaurant menu. And our critical infrastructure is almost never swallowed by stinkholes. That's even better. Our critical infrastructure is almost never swallowed by sinkholes. Toronto, it may not be the center of the universe, but we can all pretend it is. Toronto, all right. Are you guys ready to get your show started for real? All right. We are going to bring up your two teams of contestants. Up first are the Curd Nerds. Please welcome Nikki Ashworth and George Burgess. And up against the Curd Nerds, their mortal enemies, Wavy Gravy. Please welcome Joey Crewe and Jacy Lafontaine. All right, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Excellent. We are going to get our show started with a pop quiz. The first question, the category is the Daily Jail. In 1872, the Illustrated Police News, one of Britain's earliest tabloids, reported on what surprising story in Quebec City? Yes, Nikki.
They reported that strip clubs in Quebec are the best because the girls have body yaddy 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 yaddy.
Correct. Also, it turned out that in 1872, Quebec was the only province in Canada where you could show ankle at a strip club.
Wait, then what could they do in Ontario?
They could show respect.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes, Joey.
The head of Bonhomme was stolen by 3 drunk teens and placed on a statue of Louis XIV.
Yeah. Not the first time somebody drank a little too much at Winter Carnival and got head from Bonhomme, but certainly not the last time. Yes, Jacy.
A bunch of Americans dressed up as Mountie police and stole Quebec's cheese curd supply.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was revenge for us burning down their White House.
50 years. This was a slow burn.
Yeah, slow like dial-up.
Yeah, c'était un vrai poutine, you could say, but luckily they were apprehended trying to squeak through the border, so it all turned out okay in the end. George.
Quebec, 1872. I would guess that the surprising act was a woman didn't smoke cigarettes.
You are thinking of Quebec 1972, and also outside the venue right now. Any other answers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is jail spelled that way?
First of all, that is a question. This is not Jeopardy. Second of all, this is a Victorian British tabloid, so we picked the Victorian British spelling for jail. When Oscar Wilde went to prison for buggery, this is how they spelled jail, because he put the G in the A-hole. They did not like that back then. So the real answer, as you can see right here, is a woman rode down Rue Saint-Jean in a hearse with glass windows, lying down in the coffin bed, and in fact, smoking a pipe.
So they did have fringe back then.
I liked that show, actually.
So wait, you're telling me this is the world's first hot box?
But not the last. As you can see in here tonight, this is not our smoke. Hopefully no codes are being broken. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. The category is New Wave. At the Montreal area's best-known nude beach, affectionately called Acapulco, what word do the naturists use to refer to beach patrons who choose to wear clothes? Yes, George.
Boringos.
Boringo sounds like a breakfast cereal marketed to adults with no sense of whimsy.
I would eat that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Toronto, basically, yeah. Boringos, now with twice the fiber. Boringos, for when the only joy in your life is a decent shit in the morning. That really is Toronto. Yeah, Joey.
They were called people of the cloth?
Yeah. The least scary people of the cloth in Quebec. Yeah.
Garbage pail kids?
Yeah. You guys are all too young for Garbage Pail Kids.
How many of you get that joke?
Any of you have Garbage Pail Kids? Anybody seen the movie? Don't. Do not. Yes, Nikki.
PLTL, people living with tan lines.
Oh, for just 10 cents a day, you can sponsor a person living with tan lines. They'll get a little... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, actually, it's 25 cents now because of inflation.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
Costs a lot for that little bottle of coconut oil to rub on your strap, on your strap area. I guess it's either that or you Michael Jackson it and like make the rest lighter.
He said it, not me.
Yeah. Anybody else for Acapulco? All right. The real answer is textiles. Textiles. A little bit northern England in the 1870s, but let's go. The next question, the category is bipolar explorer. Norwegian explorer Roald the Titan of Ice Amundsen, best known as the first person to reach both the North and South Poles, also tried and failed to tame what? Yes, Nikki.
A shrew?
Incorrect.
Impala?
Also incorrect.
A really stubborn cowlick?
No, but he did look a lot like Alfalfa in pictures. You guys are also
How
too young.
many of you get that reference?
Yeah, the Little Rascals. We love it. Yes, George.
A naturist.
You mean a boringo?
No. That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. Yes, Joey.
He failed to tame those damn Antarctic researchers living underground and shit.
Living underground?
Yeah.
Like gophers?
Yeah, like gophers with PhDs in climate change.
Like gophers who lie about climate change is what you mean.
I don't know anything about that.
Gophers are conspiracy theorists. Yes, Jacy.
He wanted to tame an orca, like he wanted to capture it and then free Willy.
Free Willy? Yeah. So he wanted to capture an orca, put it in a cage, and then free it later.
Yeah, it's a kink.
Yeah, it is a kink. Anybody else for the Titan of Ice? All right. The actual answer is a polar bear. You do not want to fail to tame a polar bear, by the way. Polar bears were not successfully tamed until 1955. The Soviet Union taught one to pilot a nuclear sub. Why it had to juggle at the same time, I don't know. But it was not a successful program.
The only thing scarier than just a regular nuclear sub, the nuclear sub piloted by a polar bear.
No, the polar bear was the one that prevented nuclear war. He got the alert and he decided not to press the button.
The only thing that's more terrible than a nuclear sub that's piloted by a polar bear is a nuclear sub that's piloted by a polar bear who's distracted because he's juggling.
Once you're really good at it, it's like second nature. It's fine. I know how to juggle. All right.
Is that how polar bears sound? I know how to juggle.
I do. It's not part of this show. We're going to move on to the next question. The category is Vinland Saga. The musical Come From Away takes place in the small town of Gander, Newfoundland during what historical moment? Yes, Joey.
Back in my day.
Back in your day.
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
Excellent.
So fun fact, I'm actually old enough to be Joey's parent without being creepy.
Yeah. I'm old enough to fuck Joey's dad, but it is creepy. Yes, Jacy.
From the time Susan brought chowder to the potluck and gave everybody explosive diarrhea, the town of Gander was never the same again.
No.
It was improved.
Yeah, Nikki.
I'm going to say the Great Cigarette Migration of 1812. And no, I won't tell you what that means.
No. We like a mystery on this show. That's what it's... Yeah, George.
Back when jet fuel could still melt steel,
What?
Bush did 9/11.
All right. Well, you kind of got it. The real answer is, in fact, on 9/11. Do we give George the point or not?
Yes.
Yeah?
Thank you.
But this was actually a trick question because in Newfoundland it's always 1885. So sorry. Sorry. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. The category is France of Dorothy. What cartoon musical set in 1890s France featured Judy Garland in her only animated film role? Yes, Nikki.
Judy and the Beast?
Is that the name of her daughter's memoir?
Daughters? She has more than one?
Yeah, not the other, not Liza. Yeah, the other one.
There's another one?
There's a son too.
There's a son?
There's a son. Fun
Who's he?
fact, on Judy Garland's Wikipedia page, it says children, and it lists her two daughters and then other. And in case you don't believe me, there they are.
Poor other Garlands.
Other Luft is his name.
Maybe he just identifies as other.
That's
you know?
possible. They have been criticizing Wikipedia for going woke. All right. Any other answers? Yes.
Yeah.
Jacy.
Peter Pan au chocolat.
Peter Pan au chocolat. They did a Quebec remake called Pierre Chocolatine, but it didn't do as well. Yeah, George.
Les Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the musical.
No, but I really like that one. My favorite character was Avril. Good. Yes, Joey.
Spider Garçon.
Spider Garçon?
Yeah.
Not Spider Rum?
Yeah, he's a waiter in the 1950s.
Yeah. That makes sense. Nikki.
Okay, I got it this time. The Princess and the Frog's Legs.
Delicious.
French.
Yes, Jacy.
Scooby-Doo, tu es où?
Ah. If it weren't for you kids. Yes, George.
A SpongeBob SquarePants.
Also not a SpongeBob SquarePants. Yes, Joey.
Family Guy Concordia.
No, it's almost like you guys don't know the answers to these questions. Anybody else? All right. The actual answer is a movie called Gay Purrie. That's purr with a purr. It's about a young ingenue kitten from the French countryside who wants to move to the big city and gets involved in various adventures, and it's a musical. And if you haven't seen Gay Purrie, you probably should, but you could also play the board game from 1962. It's a little bit of a Candyland style thing with a spinner and cute little cat things.
So this looks jaunty, but this is actually a very, very dark movie. I was raised on this film. So you'll notice that there's a pink cat on the right-hand side there. That's a madam who kidnaps Musette. So if you look down, you'll see her being catnapped in a basket, and then she's sold into cat prostitution. But it's for children.
That is a different kind of catnap than I'm used to.
It explains a lot about me in many ways I won't go into tonight.
That is what Nikki is doing in Montreal. That's where they got the plot for Poor Things, actually. It's not a Frankenstein remake.
Here it's Chez Paré, not Chez Purrie.
All right. Well, that's it for the first pop quiz. Please give your panelists a hand. And we are going to meet your contestants. Are you guys excited to meet the people in front of you tonight? Yeah. You should know better. All right, first up, with the Curd Nerds, Nikki Ashworth grew up in Quebec Avenue in Toronto. And the only thing she can say in French is, Je suis une ananas. But she has yet to understand what it means exactly. Nikki, I have a question for you.
Yeah?
Are you a pineapple?
What are you talking about?
Je suis une ananas.
What do you mean?
I am a pineapple.
You're a pineapple?
No. In this case, you're the pineapple.
I'm not a pineapple.
Okay, that's what that means. Je suis un ananas. I am a pineapple.
That's what that means?
That's what that means.
Oh my God, my 1980s TVO upbringing did not teach me that. So I grew up in the 80s, and there was a show called Télé Français that they made us watch in Ontario. It was a puppet pineapple that was used to teach us French. I did not learn any French, but I did learn later that the pineapple is the symbol for swingers, which explains a lot more about that pineapple.
Yeah, I think that's why Éponge Bob lives in one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, give it up for Nikki, everybody. Also among the Curd Nerds, George Burgess is a huge turbo slut from New Brunswick who failed out of 3 different universities and lived in abject poverty.
Lives.
Sorry. If it's any consolation, I have 3 graduate degrees from down the street, and I also live in poverty.
That's why you're the host.
Yeah. George, I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you do?
I do very well.
Yeah, evidently. All right, George, everybody. And up against the Curd Nerds, their mortal enemy, Wavy Gravy. First up, Joey Crewe is the Dr. Doolittle of Earth 66, the one where he's allergic to all of his animal patients, including the pet rocks. Doctor. If you are so allergic, why did you adopt a dog?
Because every dog deserves a home. Also, all of my problems can be solved with Claritin, so I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
Yeah. All of my problems can also be solved with drugs, but not Claritin.
Really? I didn't think Advil was that effective.
You should see my liver. Give it up for Joey, everybody. And last with Wavy Gravy, Jacy Lafontaine is a small-town Ontario girl who moved to Montreal with a dream of performing at Just for Laughs and eating every meal at La Banquise. Considering she regularly eats poutine for breakfast, it's perhaps ironic that it was JFL that didn't live past 40. Jacy, is it true that your blood type is gravy positive?
Yes. And that's why I'm super saucy and a little bit salty.
Excellent. And if you get in an accident, we can just take you to Saint-Hubert for a transfusion.
Yeah, just order a side of fries.
All right. Give it up for Jacy, everybody. All right, we're going to move on to the next section of our game, which is called What the Hell is This? In What the Hell is This? We show our panelists a series of strange and wonderful images and ask them the eternal question, what the hell is this? Are you guys ready for your first weird and wonderful image?
Yeah.
All right, panelists, I ask you, what the hell is this? Yes, Nikki.
The Golden Bachelor.
Does he just what does he give an eyeball away instead of a rose every?
That's why he only has one ball. One ball. Wow.
Oh, no.
He only has one eyeball left.
Yeah.
He still has to give the other one away. It's like a rose.
Yeah.
So there's only 2 roses.
Sounds like a short season.
Really short.
I guess at that age, you got to move fast. Yeah, Jacy.
The Monster Mash.
Yeah, it was a graveyard smash. Kind of like when I fucked Joey's dad. Yes, Joey.
This is the future Mr. and Mrs. Leonardo DiCaprio.
By the way, Joey's family was at the last show, and they did not like that. Anyone else? Yes, George.
Art?
That was his name, yeah.
Good art?
Good art. Anybody else for this one? All right. So this is a brief scene from the Japanese horror movie House from 1977. House is very influential, has fascinating visual design. I highly recommend it. It is a weird movie, but a fun one. All right, we're gonna move on to the next one. Panelists, I ask you, what the hell is this? Yes, Jacy.
That is a Pop-Tart on a job interview.
But he doesn't get the job until his face is frosted. Yes, Joey.
Dan, I asked you not to put pictures of me in the slideshow.
Sorry, this is the only one, I promise.
Okay.
Yes, George.
The video game developer Square Enix was founded by 2 gentlemen, and I believe that is Jedediah Enix.
Yeah, Jedediah Enix, the creator of Dragon Quest. Right there, everybody. Yes, Nikki.
Jeez.
I can't get a sip of water around here.
So I'm sure you've had this happen to you before. You buy a brick of cheese. You don't finish your brick of cheese, right? Very relatable. It stays in your fridge so long it becomes sentient. And then it needs a job.
I have to say there is something I don't understand about that. What is leftover cheese?
Sentient.
Sentient leftover cheese, okay. Yes, Joey.
This is SpongeBob SquarePants.
He did not make the transition very well. All right, anybody else for this one? All right. So this is a piece by a digital artist called Miguel Vasquez, and he does realistic drawings, digital art of various characters. And I'm sure you guys want to see other examples of his work, right? Yeah. So here is a SpongeBob with Patrick Etoile. Here are Marge and Homer Simpson.
No.
He got some Hey Arnold. And of course, Mike Wisnowski, because in Monsters, Inc., we scare because we care. Yeah, so that's all for Miguel Vasquez. All right, are you guys ready for your next one?
Yes.
Panelists, what the hell is this?
Time. And now it is wielded by she who will...
Yes, George.
2 guys that are about to sword fight?
Something makes me think they already did. Yes, Nikki.
This is why if you want to kill someone properly, you do not buy your sword from Dollarama.
This is one of the few instances I regret not having the sound effect because it really does go boing. It did that in the other sword fight scene too, but it was a different... Yeah, Jacy.
This is how my partner gets me in the mood.
Oh, which one is you in this scenario?
Obviously the one wearing the leopard print.
That's funny because in my fantasy, I'm the sword.
What are you doing later?
I'm finding a pair of boots, I think. Yeah, Joey.
Is this He-Man and the Masters of the Bedroom?
Oh, any real estate agents? We can't say that anymore, right? No more master bedroom, only primary bedroom, because bedrooms are now poly.
The more the merrier.
The more the merrier. All right, anybody else for this one? Okay, so this is a scene from Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, an unofficial, legally distinct sequel to Valley of the Dolls. This movie was written by Roger Ebert, the famed film critic, who, if you didn't know, wrote a sexploitation parody in 1970. It's also a fascinating movie, maybe not fascinating in the same way that House is fascinating, but worth a watch. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. Panelists, what the hell is this? Nikki?
My dad's ashtray.
Aww. Yeah, Joey.
Dan, you said this would be the last one.
I said the other one would be the last one, but I promise this is the last one.
All right.
Yeah. Jacy.
It is a sculpture of me eating cake.
Yeah. I can't tell if you're really enjoying the cake or you just ate way too much cake.
It ends up being the same thing.
Yeah. Not mutually exclusive. Yes, George.
Buckethead's more talented cousin.
In case you guys want a close up, we've got the face here for you. I think that's nice. It does look a little bit like Goya's Saturn eating his own children.
That's my dad.
That's your dad. That's why I went with Joey's dad, honestly. That's a little scary. Here we've got another angle. And in case you guys were curious, it is indeed anatomically correct.
Okay. It reminds me of those little tree frogs on Instagram where they take a photo of them from underneath a table. Do you know what I'm talking about? No? Okay, never mind then. I regret saying this. Go back to what you were doing. Thank you.
The image of tree frogs can rest easy for another day.
I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff on the internet of somebody squatting over a table like this, but no frogs. Well, there was a gopher one time. Okay. So this is, in fact, a Japanese ceramic study of a woman giving birth from the Meiji era before 1900. And in case you guys want it, it is currently for sale for $2,000 US. So all you have to do is go to Zentner.com, and this too can be yours.
I did guess Meiji era as soon as I saw it.
Yeah. It had to be after the end of the Bakufu. Yeah. Ports were opened. Artistic freedom. Yeah, we love it. Okay, so that was it for What the Hell Is This? Please give your panelists a hand. And we are going to move on to the next pop quiz. The first question in the category is, that's not a knife. See, Australia is popular in the fringe, so we decided to work with that. A single episode of the hit Australian children's cartoon Bluey was cut from streaming on Disney Plus in North America due to controversial content. What was that episode about? Yes, George.
I don't know. I'm not a child. Definitely not an Australian child. Also, are Australian children all criminals, or is that just the adults?
In Australia, criminality is like original sin. Everybody's born with it due to their parentage, but then they cleanse themselves of it by submersing themselves in free-flowing water and wrestling a crocodile.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Joey.
It was the episode where Alfie the dingo eats a baby.
The dingo ate a baby?
Yeah.
Did the baby's mother then go to jail for several years because the media ignored the official coroner's report that said it was a dingo attack and whipped up public frenzy? And so she was just imprisoned for years and was finally released when a bloody sweater was discovered underneath a dingo den?
I don't know, man. I just watched Seinfeld.
Okay. Yes, Jacy.
It's the episode where the family stages an intervention because of Bandit's ketamine addiction.
Yeah. No, it's really touching. I really like the scene where they actually do the intervention. He gets very upset. This is a legitimate prescription. I got this from a veterinarian.
That's everybody in the Mile End as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Nikki.
Okay, so it's the episode where they encourage everyone's parents to come to the screen to invest their savings with FTX, which is a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
And nothing went wrong. All right, anybody else on this one? Okay. The actual answer is it's an episode called Dad Baby. So Bandit the father spends the entire episode with the baby Bingo in a baby carrier on his stomach, which starts out as him making fun of his wife for complaining too much while she was pregnant.
What a great
Cool, yeah, nice guy. But he does suffer quite a lot, and then she eventually refuses to come out, so they end up staging this artificial birth in a kiddie pool in the backyard where they have to yank her out, and they're helped out by a neighbor, and they spend 5 solid minutes talking about cricket. which is, I assume, why it got banned on Disney Plus in the US. There was a lot of cricket talk. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. The category is, this is a knife. In 1932, the Australian government declared war on what animal? Yes, George.
Humans. Specifically Nazis.
Unfortunately, in 1932, the only human fighting Nazis was Indiana Jones, and he's not real. Yeah. Yes, Joey.
It was the elusive dad baby.
The elusive dad baby. Yes, Nikki.
Koalas, they're meaner than you think.
They really are. They'll give you chlamydia just out of spite.
Don't lick them.
Don't lick them. Don't lick the koala. Yes, Jacy.
On a single fucking wallaby, he knows what he did.
Yeah.
Was he like fucking or was he a fucking wallaby?
He was fucking the koalas and got chlamydia.
That's what you get when you lick a koala.
Rocco's Modern Warfare, you could call it. All right. Anybody else on this one? Okay. The real answer is they declared war on the emu. This was dubbed by the press the Great Emu War. It was a failed wildlife management campaign attempting to keep a flock of 20,000 emus from devastating the crops of the wheat belt of Western Australia. It was a huge failure. Even with World War I military equipment and machine guns, they managed to kill a few hundred of the 20,000 emus. There was a notable incident where a huge flock of emus ran up and charged the soldiers, and the gun jammed. And they were driven off. So the emus won that one.
So what you're saying is Jurassic Park could have just been with emus and it would have had the exact same result.
Clever girl.
I also love that it's a flightless bird.
Yeah, even with aerial superiority, Australia could not win against the emus.
The emus won that one, but it's still not over.
No, it's not.
That's Jurassic Park 18.
All right. I guess they used to be dinosaurs, hey? Yeah. Yeah, I know. That was your joke. We're going to move on to the next question. The category is little boxes. First produced by Italian confectioner Ferrero in 1969, Tic Tacs were originally called by what name? Yes, Joey.
Tic Tacs?
Mm-hmm.
Toes.
Toes. Don't let the resemblance fool you.
Disappointingtons.
Disappointing. You don't like Tic Tacs?
No, they're disgusting.
Oh.
I liked the orange one when I was a kid, but then I grew up and learned better.
Yeah. They don't make, I mean, they still make the orange ones, but they don't dye them orange anymore, which I think is incredibly
No, what they
disappointing.
do is they're like all the same color, and then they just put them in different colored boxes to save money.
Yeah. It's because Big Candy and the nanny state are taking away your right to give yourself thyroid cancer with red dye number 5. Yes, George.
That was a long time ago, and they were just called the candy.
Candy was invented in Italy in 1969.
See?
That's better than he's been doing with French. You go ahead.
Baby choking hazards?
Oh, Joey already said toes.
I mean, it does rattle.
It does rattle. So does a box of toes if you leave them in there long enough. Yeah, I miss the orange Tic Tacs. I like their slogan, the orange flavored mint that doesn't taste like drinking orange juice after brushing your teeth. Was not very successful. The actual answer is refreshing mints. Refreshing mints.
Oh, they nailed it.
Yeah. Isn't that a good one?
Disappointingtons.
You should talk to the TikTok people. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. The category is What's Your Body Count? How many titles are there in the main Call of Duty video game series? Yes, George.
Just the right amount.
Yes, Joey.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Snoop Dogg was only in one of them.
Yeah, Jacy.
Not a gamer, but I'm going to guess as many as there are traffic cones in Montreal. And that's saying a lot.
Yeah, that's actually what they're doing now with all the orange Tic Tac dye. Yeah, Nikki.
Sorry, I'm confused. Is Call of Duty when you call your grandma once a year to make sure you're still in the will?
Just once a year?
Yeah, once a year to make sure I'm in the will, and then if she gives me birthday money, I call her again.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah, and I potentially a third time if grandfather dies, but he's already dead, so that won't be happening.
So, yeah, you don't have to, you're spared that call this year.
I have been.
Yeah, excellent. We like to end these on a downer.
It was a long time ago.
Okay.
When people called their grandfather.
That's how you know it was a long time ago, because I actually hesitated. He was actually called Papa, which is somehow sadder now that I'm saying it out loud, but that was my reason for saying grandfather.
I feel like if your grandfather is the kind of grandfather who insists on being called grandfather, his favorite candy is Disappointingtons.
Or Werther's Original.
Disappointingtons too. Now with more disappointment.
The tantalizing clack of Werther's Original.
All right. Anybody else for this one? All right. This is a trick question, actually. All titles were abolished after the war in the new Constitution. Never mind. That never works. The real answer is 20. Titles of nobility was the idea. All right. We're going to move on to the last question. The category is Beat It and Bust. In March and April of this year, a 15-year-old boy broke 6 separate world records for what activity? Yes, Nikki.
Having the most Riz.
The kids don't even say Riz anymore. They call it Skibbity Rizma.
That sounds like a peanut butter.
Yeah, but it's the kind of peanut butter you don't want to eat. Like, it has 15 parts per million more cockroach legs than is allowed by law.
So it's regular peanut butter.
Yeah, Joey.
So I'm not going to say specifically what, but let's just say his mom has to wash way more socks than what he actually wears.
Oh, that is not correct, but bare feet are very important to his technique. Yes, George.
Whacking the fuck off. We're all beating around the bush.
Well, maybe he is, but no. But wearing a single glove to reduce friction is also an important part of his technique. Yes, Jacy.
Reading books in Florida. Each book is its own record.
Yeah. Yeah, there are actually only 6 books in Florida.
Pretty sure they're all the Bible.
Yeah, the 6 books of Florida are Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, and the edition of Huck Finn where they put in extra slurs. All right, anybody else for Beat It and Bust? All right, so the real answer is competitive Tetris. Alex Thack, also known as Alex T on Twitch, made multiple score and progress records on the original and modded versions of Tetris, and here he is playing with his technique. This was a technical innovation that happened somewhat recently where you tap the back of the controller that's allowed people to almost get to the end of Tetris, but as far as I know, nobody has done it yet, at least not since we started this run of this show.
So I wasn't that far off if
no.
he's using a modified grip.
That is true. Alex T is also known for dumping various things on his head when he has a good game, including milk and Parmesan cheese and Gatorade and hot sauce, etc. Here we can see an example. There is actually someone who has kept a spreadsheet of the monetary value of everything that Alex T has dumped on his head after a Tetris stream.
Why does it look like he's locked in a basement?
How do you think you get good at competitive Tetris?
I don't need a spreadsheet to tell you that milk no longer has any monetary value.
All right. Thank you. All right, that is the end of this pop quiz. Please give your panelists a hand. And we are going to move on to the next section of our game, which is called Not Bloody Likely. In Not Bloody Likely, we give our panelists a series of unlikely situations, and they give you an idea of what might happen. All right, are you guys ready for your first unlikely situation? Unexpected celebrity beefs.
Eminem versus Peanut Eminem. His new song had a lyric where he just compared him to a lemon that gave up on life.
When I was in elementary school, I got in a lot of trouble for bringing a Peanut Eminem record to school. A kid died. Go ahead.
And on that happy note, I'm going to say Kendrick Lamar and Angela Lansbury. It's especially bizarre because she's dead, which is why it's unlikely.
But she
Thank you.
she lives on in our hearts. Celine Dion didn't die though, right? Because there would be a national state of mourning here right now.
This is my impression of Chef Boyardee greeting Mr. Noodles. They don't get along.
Anyone else for celebrity beefs?
I'm going to say Wagyu beef.
That's true. I very rarely expect that.
Angela Lansbury and Betty White. They're both dead.
Yes, they are. But Betty White's diss track against Angela Lansbury was classic. Yeah. I didn't know Angela Lansbury was also into... Never mind. I was going to make a Drake joke, but we're done. Let's move on to the next one. Failed auditions for iconic roles.
Bruce Willis auditioning for any new role nowadays. Line?
Everybody always hates this, but I will tell you guys that my dad worked with Bruce Willis and he was a total dick. So at least neither of them can remember it now.
You won't remember I said
Yeah. My dad was Hans Gruber. Yeah. No, but he did die falling off a building. He was a... Never mind.
And on that happy note, thanks again, Dan, for that.
Yeah.
My name is Steve Buscemi. I'm here to read the part of Katniss Everdeen. Good with a bow and arrow.
Did you guys see those photoshops of Disney princesses with Steve Buscemi's eyes on them? They're amazing. They should do that with all the Hunger Games characters, I think.
It's like googly eyes for everybody.
Yeah, googly eyes for everybody. Yeah. And Katniss can be the hero of 9/11. Because Steve Buscemi was a New York fighter. Anyway, are we done with this?
Hi, I'm Googly Eyes, and I'm here to play the part of Steve Buscemi.
Unfortunately, he got an infection and had to try out for Mr. Pink instead. Pink eyes, yeah, that's fine. You guys don't have to like it. This is just for me. And you. All right, are we done with this? Okay. Improbable reality shows. Don't trip and die. Right. We don't need Angela Lansbury and you to leave this green earth.
Gordon Ramsay's bathroom nightmares.
Property Brothers. Is it cake?
You don't want to cut into the wrong one, guys.
The Amazing Racist.
We had that one. It was called The Apprentice.
Montreal Parking Wars. You just can't park here edition.
Nobody wins Montreal Parking Wars.
Watch a millennial buy a house. Fuck.
What's wrong? All the millennials I see, an artist paired with someone who owns an Etsy store, they have $200,000 to put down on a house. And
Cake?
Yes, the house is cake. It's gingerbread, actually. Does that count as cake? Is gingerbread cake? Hey, we found a new format. All right, are we done with this one? Okay. And our last one, unconvincing pitches for world-changing inventions.
Vaccines. Protect yourself from deadly diseases so you can live a longer, more miserable life. Why be unhealthy when you could be healthy and unhappy? Vaccines.
Vaccines. Autism is trendy now. Vaccines. Hey, it's the only time I've ever been fashionable.
My idea for a world-changing device is the world change-a-tron. Changes the world. That's not very convincing.
Not selling me on it, George.
My idea for a world-changing device is called the World Changeatron 2. This time, it doesn't catch on fire.
Oh.
I'd invent a time machine, take a fire extinguisher with me, go back 30 seconds, and extinguish the World Changeatron 1.
I like that that's what you would do with the time machine.
What else are you doing?
Lotto tickets, kill Hitler. Go back and figure out how to get more people in the room.
Electric cars. Save the environment by driving something so silent you can hear your own existential dread. At least the children won't hear you coming. Electric cars.
It's too bad Yeah. It's too bad I'm only allowed one Michael Jackson joke per show. Anyone else for world-changing inventions? All right. So that is it for Not Bloody Likely. Please give your panelists a hand. And we are going to move on to the last section of our game, which is called Debate Club. In Debate Club, our panelists debate important issues of the day, and you, the audience, get to decide who wins. Arguing our first question, which city makes the better bagel? Arguing in favor of Montreal is Nikki Ashworth, and making a huge mistake is Joey Crewe. All right, Nikki, you have 1 minute starting now.
If you think New York has the best bagels, slap your face, wake the hell up, and say bonjour hi to Montreal. New York bagels have a weird texture they attribute to New York tap water with a low concentration of minerals and a high concentration of rat piss. They're first boiled to lock in that acrid New York harbor dankness, and then they're baked to a tarnished yellow to seal in their sewage-like consistency, as only the Big Apple could produce. Montreal bagels, however, have a sweeter, denser dough. They're handmade and they're boiled in honey water, wood-fired, and covered in a crunchy coat of sesames or poppy seeds. Montreal bagels don't have to tart themselves up for you to be enticed. They have that certain je ne sais quoi, which I think means does not contain rat piss.
All right, thank you, Nikki. Joey, you have 1 minute starting now.
Ew, it's your boy, Joey Rigatoni, and I'm here to tell you francophones exactly why New York bagels slap way harder. First of all, you guys don't put fluoride in your water. How do you expect to compete with the New York City grit when you don't got the same minerals? You call it rat piss, I call it the key ingredient. Plus, everything is bigger and better, New York, baby. You can't compare with us. We have Lady Liberty. You got nothing. We have Broadway. You have
Montreal Fringe Fest.
We got New York bagels and you got nothing.
All right, thank you, Joey.
Why the hell are you even here? What, you come all the way here just to bitch? You have anything to say?
Nikki,
okay.
you have 30 seconds starting now.
Okay. New York bagels and their bawdy house bakeries dress up to distract your mouth from the harsh truth. Gaudy garlic, blighted bacon, pernicious pumpernickel. Why settle for polished turds when you can experience refined elegance in a bagel? The very first bagel in space was from Montreal. NASA is American, and they still chose a Canadian bagel over national pride. Think about it. Also, if it's the official bagel of Canadian legend Captain Chris Hadfield, who I met once and was very, very nice to me. True story. I made him laugh. I'm very proud of that. It's good enough for me, a human person who lives on the planet Earth who likes bread with holes in it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Nikki. Joey, you have 30 seconds in the last word.
Oh, wonderful. Terrific. What a great rebuttal. Montreal bagels were the first ones in space. I mean, come on. Montreal bagels were so bad, we wanted them off the planet. You can't touch us. You can't touch New York, literally, because you're in space, you fucking nerds. Chris Hadfield was a bitch to me.
All right. Thank you, Joey. All right. And now you, the audience, get to decide. Do you agree with Nikki Ashworth that Montreal makes the better bagel? Or do you agree with Joey Rigatoni that rat piss is essential for flavor? All right, Nikki wins. Congratulations. That is a point for the Curd Nerds. And it looks like maybe we caught somebody sneaking one the other day. This is the last one. All right. All right. Our second debate of the evening, arguing the hot topic, oatmeal. Arguing in favor is Jacy Lafontaine, and arguing against is George Burgess. Jacy, you have 1 minute, starting right now.
All right, folks, we need unity in this divided world, and oatmeal is here to help, because who can argue with a mouthful of beige goop? Oatmeal is the breakfast version of the sweater vest. It's practical but devoid of style. Think socks and sandals. Functional, but you look fucking stupid. It's the elastic waistband on your fave sweatpants. Comforting, forgiving, and perfect for strolling through Walmart. Oatmeal is the best part of an oatmeal cookie or oatmeal raisin cookie. Fucking, that's truth. Got a murdered victim's body to dispose of? Oatmeal's got you covered. Feed it to the victim and they'll sink like a stone. It's the Jeffrey Dahmer of breakfast. Charming, versatile, and guaranteed to leave you stuffed. Oatmeal is the breakfast of choice for those who like their morning fuels, like my jokes, dark and heavy enough to make you question your life choices. Speaking of questionable life choices, even McDonald's jumped on the oatmeal bandwagon, serving it for breakfast. Now they can officially change their slogan to McDonald's, the only D that truly fills me up.
All right, thank you, Jacy. George, you have 1 minute, starting right now.
Oatmeal is easy on the heart and on the pocketbook. That means it's garbage. It's cheap because it has no value. If somebody offers you oatmeal, they're saying, I think you eat mush. Oatmeal will make you live forever if you eat it. That is a scientific fact. I'll admit that. But here's another scientific fact. If you eat oatmeal and then puke it back up, it looks better. My friend did tell me that you can make oatmeal taste really good if you add some chopped apples, heavy cream, little brown sugar, a shot of maple syrup, cinnamon, 2 cups of fresh gummy bears, chuck the oats in the garbage, add in some whipped cream, a little bit of heroin. You can make it pretty good.
All right. Thank you, George. Jacy, you have 30 seconds to respond.
First of all, everything tastes better with heroin, so. But honestly, let's give it up for blandness, folks, because without it, we would all be drowning in a sea of flavor like an unsupervised toddler by a bathtub. Picture a world without the bland and monotonous. No Anderson Cooper droning on the news, no Friends cast lulling you to sleep, and no Taylor Swift telling you to shake it off. All I'm saying is sometimes you need the bland to help digest the garbage you face in this world. So there you have it, oatmeal bringing people together one boring spoonful at a time, and just try not to choke on it.
All right, thank you, Jacy. And thank you for referencing the unpopular psychedelic band, The Boring Spoonful. Go ahead, George, 30 seconds.
I will not be responding directly to my opponent's well-made arguments, as I was not listening. But here is my rebuttal after 6 years of high school debate club. Is your fucking mouth turned on? It tastes gross. Also, every single person I've ever met who likes oatmeal is a war criminal. Vote for me.
All right. Thank you, George. All right, and now you, the audience, get to decide. Do you agree with Jacy that oatmeal is the only D that fills you up? Or do you agree with George that grown-ups don't eat mush? All right, George wins. That's another point for the Curd Nerds. All right, and so we have come to the end of our game, and I've done all the math and tallied all the points, and it turns out that our two teams are tied 2,136 points to 2,136 points. I don't know why this keeps happening. It happens every time. So you guys are going to have to break the tie. So tell me who you liked better tonight. Did you like the Curd Nerds, Nikki Ashworth and George Burgess? Or did you like Wavy Gravy, Joey Crewe and Jacy Lafontaine? I think that's the Curd Nerds. You guys win tonight. You get our special grand prize of an empty can of Pringles Spicy Honey Chips. All right, thank you guys so much. This has been Comedy Game Showdown. My name is Dan Donnelly. Thank you so much to our tech, Catherine, who has been working hard with us all week. The Curd Nerds, once again, were Nikki Ashworth and George Burgess. Wavy Gravy were Joey Crewe and Jacy Lafontaine. You can patronize us on Patreon if you like. We do a new 75-minute show every month in Toronto, which we record and put on the internet. Thank you to our patrons. And please follow us online. You can see previous episodes and a new clip of our show every day on the socials. So thanks a lot, Montreal Fringe, for having us, and have a wonderful night.